Hey, it's Sammy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you have been here before, you may recognize this background from the last video. This is my office and this is also my son's playroom. But fun fact, if you've been following me for a while, you might have recognized this as my old working office. That's right, I used to do services right out of this office. I used to have like a whole aesthetic setup like right here. Anyways, today we're chatting about something a little bit different, a little bit not, my career change and how I got into nursing school. For the longest time, I didn't really talk about nursing school online. It was kind of this running joke with me and my friends, like how funny would it be if I just up and changed my career, didn't tell anyone, and then one day I just pop out and I'm like, surprise, I'm a nurse. But once I got into the nursing program and I realized it was gonna be a little impossible not talking about nursing school. If you know anyone in nursing school or you know anyone who's been through it, you know that it takes up like 80% of our lives. So before it takes over my life, I figured I would share my journey to nursing school and everything that brought me here this far. So in this video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my journey so far, what it's like being a third-year college student when you're almost 30, huge career change, and of course juggling all of that as like a wife and mom. So let's rewind a little bit. I got into aesthetics because I loved skincare, I loved makeup, I loved all of it. The beauty world was amazing. And I thought it would be a fun and creative career. I definitely need something that's fast-paced and keeps me moving. And it was those things. But working for someone else, I definitely hit a wall on income possibility. Like I was making the most I was gonna be able to make working for someone else. So I decided to start my own business, and that had a lot of negatives as well. If you've ever owned a business or you know a business owner, you know that it is a completely different type of grind. Zero boundaries, no set hours. Like sure, my business hours might have been from 8 to 5, but like my phone was going off at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Don't even get me started on all of the social media side that went into owning a business. It's just not for me. I miss having structure. I miss like clocking in, clocking out, the responsibility being someone else's problem. So one day, my friend Juliana told me that she was going back to nursing school. And if I'm being completely honest, I tried talking her out of it. Our careers had mirrored each other so much at that point. Like we opened our businesses at the same time, we closed our businesses at the same time, we went back to working for someone else at the same time. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I was a CNA from the time I was 16 until I was like 24 when I moved to Colorado. The burnout I experienced in that career was insane. And so I was like, are you sure? Like, I think you could really still make good money with aesthetics. Like if you really tried really, really hard. And not to put her business online, but she's a single mom and she wanted the flexibility that came with nursing, and there was no talking her out of it. She was so firm in her decision to switch to nursing that it got me thinking about my own career. And I had to come to terms with the truth of the matter, and that was the fact that I knew I could not support my family on my income as an esthetician. My husband supports us financially with his job. I'm so thankful for that, but I had this realization, like if something happened to him, he lost his job, God forbid, I would not be able to support our family and pay for our lifestyle. That thought hit me so hard. I prayed about it. I talked to my husband, I talked to my friends, and I just kept coming back to nursing school. Like the thought just kept coming back to my head. I realized that so many of the things that I love about aesthetics, helping people feel good about themselves, problem solving, building relationships, like all of those things line up with nursing as well. Plus I had years of healthcare experience from being a CNA before, and I mean, it was years of experience from pediatrics to rehab nursing to geriatrics. Like I had so much experience. Decided to stop thinking about it, and I left my aesthetics job, got a job at a local hospital working overnights, and I went back to school. Now let me break down how I approached school and how I juggled all of it, because it has been a journey. 2 to 4 classes at a time per semester, paying out of pocket. I was working full time, and I honestly just like did not want to overwhelm myself. And like right at the end of my first semester, I found out I was pregnant, which was a huge answer to prayer, huge blessing, and reaffirming why I was there, which was I wanted to be able to support my now growing family. Between pregnancy fatigue, trying to prepare for a baby, and working, I just kept things manageable, and I stayed in that part to full-time range. So in my first semester, I took 3 classes. I took English 1, Math for Clinical Calculations, and General Psychology. And at my school, you can't even take any other class, like any of the science classes, until you knock out English 1 anyways. Second semester, I took human growth and development and general college biology, and that's when my son was born. Literally had him like the week after finishing the semester. It was crazy. And college biology at my school is a prereq before you can take anatomy and micro, which are the actual required prereqs for the nursing program. So if you're following along, you can't take any of those classes till you take English, and you still can't take them until you take general college biology. So it was just one step at a time. Third semester, I took E1, microbiology, and English Comp 2. Now, English Comp 2 isn't required for the RN, but it's a class towards my bachelor's. That was my first full load, full semester, 12 credit hours, and I did all of it with a newborn. Yeah. My semester started on January 21st. My son was born on December 20th. So I had a 1-month-old, and I'm honestly so proud I made it through that because that was a lot. Now, after that semester, my third semester, I technically could have applied to the nursing program, but I just wasn't ready to leave my son at home. I wanted more time at home with him, so I did one more semester online. I took ANP2, Colorado history, and intro to philosophy, and that was 10 credit hours, and I just kept it chill. I was supposed to take pathophysiology that semester, which was last semester, but I actually decided to move that to this semester, my first semester of nursing school, just because the professor online was very much self-study, and just such an important class. I really wanted to understand the information, so I'm taking it in person with a highly recommended professor. Now, to get into my program, there were a couple other requirements you have to have. I had to have an active CNA license, or I had to take CNA at the college I go to, and I have an active CNA license that I transferred from Nebraska. You have to pass the TEAS test on an average level, like the national average, and you have to have an active BLS, which I had all those things. So I did all of that, I applied, and I got in. This is gonna be my first semester in person, super rigorous. I'm very nervous. This semester I'll be taking pathophysiology, fundamentals of nursing, and pharmacology. And my program requires a 78 average. If you fall below that, you get kicked out. I'm definitely nervous about transitioning back to in-person after being online for 2 years. Just there's so much more flexibility, obviously, with being online. But I am very, very excited for this next chapter, and I'm so proud of myself because there were a lot of times where I just wanted to give up, and I didn't. So that's my journey so far. If you're thinking about nursing school, or you're in a similar season of life with career changes, family growing, all those kinds of things, I hope that this video was kind of helpful to you. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit about my nursing school journey, and thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you at the next one.